Oh hi. It takes a lot to turn my stomach. Really, the only two things that I can think of are black olives and Chris Kattan's movie career. But the other day, I made a terrible choice. It was bad. Some of you may know that one of my first real jobs was working at a 7-Eleven. Think of me as a tall, lanky, white Apu, which I guess is really just like the real Apu. I worked the night shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Every worst case scenario you can think of has probably happened to me, except for being robbed at gunpoint. That actually happened on my night off. And you'll never prove it was me. One of the things that I look forward to was when I was getting off shift to see if there was any food that I could take home to eat. This would be the day-old donuts, sandwiches that were close to their expiry date, and even hot dogs or those taquitos that had been on the heating tray too long. Listen, I was in my early 20s and I thought I was invincible, okay? I still believed I'd have all my hair by the time I was 35. So it was Friday afternoon. I knew I'd be driving to my parents' place a couple hours away that night, and I believed that I wouldn't be able to survive if I didn't eat something before I got there. That's when I noticed I was walking beside a 7-Eleven and was blasted back to the past where I remembered fondly having that expired food and laughing at the normies who needed to have a life free of salmonella and botulism. So I walked in, and what do I see? Those delectable, hot, probably mostly plastic, taquitos spinning away under that heat lamp. I buy two for $1.99 and think that I'm absolutely winning at life. And then 1 a.m. happened. I'd made my way to my parents' house already, had a pleasant conversation with them, ate a delicious bowl of chili that my mom had made, caught up with my brother and my sister-in-law, and I was able to crawl into bed at around 11. But I was jolted awake. I was all sweaty. My clothes were drenched. My sheets were even sticky with perspiration. But it was my stomach. I was not in a good way, and there was an unmistakable twinge in the breadbasket about what was about to happen next. My parents live on a farm, so don't believe in things like night lights or hallways that don't have obstacles in front of you. I groped my way along the walls, found the bathroom by touch, flipped on the light switch, and just jumped onto the toilet. Now, this happens to be the second week in a row where I'm about to go into something pretty crude. I don't plan on making this a thing, but I do need to let you know this. Your body is amazing. When it senses that you are under attack, it sends out all of its defenses and tries to rid you of whatever is trying to kill you. So what happened next can only be described as the blitzkrieg of autoimmune responses. It started by trying to get out the normal way when you eat things, just in liquefied form. But that soon transitioned. As I sat there in pain, I knew very quickly that I was about to vomit, which upset me a lot. For those who are How I Met Your Mother fans, you know that Ted is so happy about his record for not throwing up, and I'm the same way. I can't really remember the last time it happened. It's got to be at least 5 or 6 years, and probably about the same amount of time before that. And then it was happening. Luckily, in my dazed and dozy state, I could still sit on the toilet and lean over to the sink to empty my stomach. Bits of ground beef from the chili, flecks of corn from the taquito, what I'm pretty sure was a gumball I swallowed in 5th grade, and copious amounts of acid that was supposed to be digesting was now floating in the sink. In the immediate aftermath, I felt relieved. My body was radiating this sick heat. Like if I was a cartoon character, I'd have those wavy lines drawn around my body that was essentially now a fleshy furnace. I panted a few times and then my stomach recoiled again and I doubled over for a second reverse helping of the food that I'd eaten that day. I tried cleaning myself up as much as possible and I cleaned up the bathroom so that nobody had to witness the biological atrocities that had occurred before I went back to bed for about an hour. For the next 6 hours, I would need to rush to the bathroom in order to not destroy the bed that my parents had lent me to sleep in. In the morning, my throat was raw, I had no appetite, and nobody else was experiencing what I was experiencing. Taquitos! I thought to myself, curse you! And then I vomited again. I'd gone home to my parents' place because a huge family get-together, a fam jam, if you will. I thought that's copyrighted. A huge roast had been made, mashed potatoes and gravy, vegetables, and so many cakes. I couldn't have any of it. I was too sick. Any food turned my stomach, and I had to sit there just being miserable, which luckily I have a lot of experience with. And so, when you are throwing up fairly consistently for 12 hours and then don't really eat for 36, I discovered the best diet in the world. It's the Kyleo diet. Everyone gets an undercooked taquito to start. You will have that Beachbody this year. Give me my money, please. Anyway, so that was my weekend. How was yours? If you've ever had to deal with an awful sickness, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know how you survived. And unless I contract scarlet fever, I'll talk with you again next Thursday.